Okay, welcome back to the redness and the floodness and all that stuff over here. So before we get into that over here, we got some fishes popping off. It's a work. I get ourselves a bulletproof interview. We should have time to do such a thing, really. But right now, we got your boy Palora doing Palora things over in here. We got all things involving folks and stuff over here. So I'm gonna read that actually before we get on to the whole thing over here, usual ideology, description, and all that. Simon Vasilevich Pluria, the hated and beloved of many people, following the parents or side of tyranny. He was a man of many controversies, many backroom deals, many victories, and many successes. Also, primarily pragmatism. Unsuccessful in a Christian priesthood, he strove to be a priest of the Ukrainian nation, a just leader who would bring his fellow Ukrainians to the glory of socialism. A chance came when Steve was born in the ashes of the Gate. The long battle with Russia, where his stars rose through vigorous military action in cooperation with the Poles, was the beginning of his hard work to keep the country alive. After the war, the Kolchakis Russia, Peluria was like the first president of the Ukrainian People's Republic in June 16th, 1922. Immediately following his was in the last line from watching the development of Polish state led him to certain conclusions of civil politics. The president found himself seeking to emulate his friend Joseph Pilsudski's government. After the re-election in 1927, Peluria was ready to begin the centralization of position and power of regime similar to this nation. But like opponent, his coalition rather ruptured within 3 years, and he was forced to not seek re-election in 1932. While he says that he will prevent any legal consequences from dragging him, he found himself only a spectator in Ukrainian politics. Did that change once more, though? Who knows how long? His attempt to become a monarchy evidently having fought similar power was thrown from power, and Peluria once again took the mantle of liberating here in Kiev. It's unclear whether he just will return the old days or step down against something new. For now, Peluria remains with the absolute power he has long believed he needs to return civility first for Ukraine in preparation to ultimate war against the Muscovite lords. The ultimate war. It's gonna be a great war, probably. Won't even need a second one. It was over here social nationalism as part of progressivism. The Roman Marxist approach views the nation as a bourgeois construction, opposing the worker solidarity for transcending such borders. Others may see the dangers inherent in harnessing nationalism, where demagogues wave flag up attacks on enemies both foreign and domestic. And yet, despite these caveats, there are places where left-wing politics represent democracy and nationalism work in tandem, where progressivism and nationalism are deliberately uniting the political movement, especially in countries that have achieved national independence since the Great War. This tendency has been formally described as social nationalism. It cannot be forgotten that the ideals of a nation was once directly opposed to tradition reaction. Republican nationalism tore down the diversity of feudalism in much of Europe, and the privileged position of clergy to the niches of minor nobility that divided the fatherland. Furthermore, when the revolution of 1789 and 1848 are primarily considered liberal in character, a number of participants recognized they from the political left from the conspiracy equal to the founders of communism himself. In countries where mass political mobilization is made more difficult by the aftermath of the independence struggle, a still entrenched feudal power system or period of dominion by another nationality, national identity still a powerful tool to build collectivity around the country. Let's forget the aftermath of Italian unification. We immediately now we must make Italian. Okay, that's gonna get about this stuff. Social nationalism, by definition, is a progressive ideology with all that entails an improvement of the human material and social condition. It differs from its contemporaries in its preoccupation in acclimating the national identity to the population. The condition that gives rise to it, newly won independence, are feudal backwardness, tend to lead growth outside these world powers, especially in their imperial positions, with global balance of power shifting and political continents growing on the global periphery. The Phrygian caps of yore may be donned by men once more. Indeed. Once more by the men over here. We shall see over here once we got ourselves some old face for the new ways over here. So we lose the bullet. We're gonna get some left, some support over here. Independence in the other man. Whatever. See, Peluria is a Cuban follow Ukrainian independence. Even with these many heroic deeds, however, there are still some who claim Peluria is corrupted and uses president solely for himself. Pure slander, to be sure. We must change their heart somehow. No trust of the voters once again, the USDRP must embrace new ways under familiar faces. Old like soldiers could not buy the trust of the right, and that sent them running to Winowski. We must be a soldiers' party for all Ukrainians and unite the USDRP under Peluria in his noble vision. It's gonna be like unite the left and unite the right. Yeah, I guess we'll see how that went. Yeah, that's some bad really. Yeah, we had all sorts of over here about a lot of moves in government. See what you there. Let's see, I get the 3 in there still. I should start kicking off over here in the future. In the future. Yeah, we should probably button up the high form of armament. The higher form of armament. At the very least, you know, get ourselves yeah, whole stuff's going really. CRT is gonna be doing that over here. Yeah, look at that, it's been some war. So when that was happening. He doesn't have a Spain. I need to have. Brother. As per usual. As per usual. And oh yeah, this is the yes, I'll do it over into here. I can't remember exactly, but it seems familiar. It's on the Isle of Man. Let's see which one I'm on first. You can do this over here so we can get that get deals and connections and shit. Come up a level beneficiaries. You have many allies within the countries who are big concerned about the state of our party, nationalists, USDIP members, financiers, and play among them who worry about securing our power further. If you find their faith in us and some concessions to temporary loyalty, to allow that freely make our reform out something that another political system. Small handshake with the right and a warm war to the left will be heaven for us in the middle. Yeah, we shall see where that goes over here. Probably kind of sort of maybe potentially well. Get my fucking foot out over here, so trying to move over here, my bad. So you guys can take a while to properly get all this equipment up over here. Get you boosted up. You all are boosted. Base boosted as well. And then we're gonna start getting these going. Get this ball rolling, so to speak. At least try to. Intriguing. Very intriguing seeing that go on there. Or at least we got ourselves kind of simple. So just chilling out over here, make sure they're all fine dandy for us to get this whole state going. A whole little progressive social net thing. We're not chauvinists, and we distance ourselves from people who despise Russians or Poles with their whole heart. You want to say that we are nationalists or other description that could fit a person who loves his country and his nation. We wish to better the conditions of Ukrainian people and wish to the same to other nations. This is a natural, healthy impulse of every man, so God is friendly with all his might. We would those who want to destroy Ukraine, both the external and internal enemies who rule over our state. The race is a bit like we're gonna beat the shit out of people without reason. So yeah, Rand's getting that going. Slowly build ourselves up over into here. Nothing much, but we're gonna get ourselves quite the I was quite prepared for this shit over here. I cannot find words today. Holy shit. Well, everyone's sleeping well that lady over here. Kinda I would feel like we're over here. Take a nick at hey. Take a nick again, where's up? Who says that? Let's see. Yeah, went down the progs, sucked over into here. I already seen this over in here. But it definitely seems to be quite the thing. So now we go for the Ukraine state. Many things about Ukraine can be done better, especially with his army, his economy. Machine with great control, but improperly collaborated. But I was trying to make our state great, but our financial politics with the USDRP sabotage them. The power to unify a party, we can use real reforms to put Ukraine on the steeple legs for the first time. Finishing their reforms, making our army strong, overseeing urban industrial development, really everything that could not be done before. Revive the Ukrainian city as peaceful development. The most peaceful of the developments. Indeed. And it's very much going quite well if I say so myself. And yeah, we're slowly building our armies up. It's gonna take a long ass time to probably get that going, but it is what it is. Yeah, that. They're still going at it over here. Yeah, he's a boy. Look up. Neat. Very nice. I was thinking, no, that's the way I have a spoon. What we'll do is we'll put something over here. Whatever in Finland, that's the, yes. Do over there, she's victorious. And now time to reward our Polish friends. It's always good to have friends. Fire rises and step. The fire rises. Reference, anyways. The Poles have been our friends for a generation now. Who before they were the outsourced hands and investors. We also hope does restabilize Ukraine and deal with the death blow of Manovsky when he threatened the high integrity to Mayam. With money and aid from our Polish companies, we are to build our economy more quickly than our own hands can. Theoretically become the main exporter of food to the whole continent. Some say that you can't have socialism without provide enterprise. But not true. Socialism can be developed slowly by reforming international capitalism and democratizing it. Going for the fucking dentist route, I see. That fucking meme got beaten to oblivion. If any remember that from when Tino was his thing. I mean, it kind of still is a thing, but like, I haven't touched Tino. I kept up with it for so long, man. I don't even know. I don't even know. Over here, that. I have my Olympus. And let's get all brighter and bigger and stupider. Probably. I don't know. I mean, I can be pretty stupid at times. Look at that. Punjab is doing this thing. Quite the interesting states we got going on over here. This here. Let's fight for united Ukraine. You got 14, we'll take a defense bonus. Look to the east, how brothers in eastern Ukraine tell tales of oppression and mass deportation to the far-flung regions of Russia. The cruelty to Stolop and Kozhegorlovsky must be held to account one day, and we must find for our future while we take out land east and deeper in the radical countrymen home. To do this, we must expand our economic base and follow up the process and further proceed into production that will help us stand against the Muscovites. Okay. Gotta focus on military stuff over here. So I'm not yelling a lot over here, as I said before. I haven't been sleeping all that well, to be honest, so I haven't been feeling the greatest, but try to keep doing this shit for you guys, because I like recording stuff. It's neat. I got this whole thing over there, I forgot. Look at that. Well, these PSs are quite the decent buffs, really. I'll do the rush up because of course it did. Got that there. Has been united. Oh, what's the Horus Army's enthusiasm over here? Because this is a van might as well at least do that. Our boys in the army are ready to fight for our country and our cause. Many of them, even if they still are skeptical of our central leadership, still feel it as their second father. It's a real pity that we have to harness their enthusiasm for our army until now. If you're not harnessing their enthusiasm until now. Freedom of new technologies, domestic discipline, cultivating new military doctrines will allow us to do that freely among our soldiers. The new player will be one that our soldier fully motivated to challenge conviction. Challenge conviction for. Yeah, so developing a call personality over here to be like, hey kid, you want to beat the shit out of some Russians? Congratulations, you name Ukrainian independence. It's just, just what we got going on over here. I don't think so. I think so. And while we're thinking so on that, we're going to be thinking about a plan of attack. Let's see here. As we get you going. properly. So, movement. Like my father. See, none of you stood in a crowd of soldiers watching us below unveiled yet another movement. Monument to the brave soldiers who found Ukraine independence. He would note that some rise satisfaction that although he was too young to fight in the war, he'd been immortalized in any way by a sculptor who needed a model. Saw Peloria's face on the lead statue proved the infinite community of Peloria, if he was smirk still. He nearly thought of Peloria as something of a father to his men and perhaps the nation. Perhaps imperfect like any father inevitably is, but working with Ukraine's interests. For Ukraine's interests. When I'm a player pulled a sheet from the statue, he advanced to the podium to the compliment of thunders applause in the crowd. Even from the soil, but when he spoke, he quieted the whole crowd. My dearest companions in arms and brothers and sisters, Ukrainians, nation who is born in your blood, in great pain and sweat, it is not easy task to build a country, and to many it is even more difficult. But indeed, the sacrifices in the gate of war, the sacrifices of tomorrow, and our current effort to get over help us rise to greatness among the other nations of Europe. We live in a new era, that is the eternal swing of nations alongside our allies in the Malium. But the only pure part remains. They are still here, watching keenly as the birds of prey wait to strike. So was our task then? To preserve our freedom? Not to have forgotten that our independence is one hand in hand with the Poles, and that we need to stand together with our allies and comes a new war. If not, the red flood Rockrats, over Europe would drown us. I believe, however, that the nation of heroes was far back at the Cossacks we created a country that will survive under 1,000 years. The wave of applause resounded throughout the whole square. Peloria gave an order to the aide-de-camp soldiers. They stood in their ranks and prepared their weapons. Zenalia complied with the order, still thinking they would be like to shake Peloria's hand someday and meet him in person, however. Those thoughts quickly evaporated as he was squatting into the sky, and everyone shouted Slaukaina, Slava, and fired a volley into the air. He was followed by the orchestra launching to a rendition at the Revolutionary. He felt pride in his heart that he was Ukrainian and that he would put himself in danger for his homeland. He knew no fear, for he knew that was leading them. Exactly. They shall know no fear for the case stuff. Anyways, they'll be friends. Over here, the face Prometheus in Ukraine. Over here, I'm gonna get friends. Over here, now some oil and aluminum. Prometheus is a doctrine that we should embrace, not due to our more to either fight for area oppressed people and set them free, but also because it is useful to our state. We use the oppressed people in Eurasia as a tool against the Russians to deal with the economy, military reduction. We'll fight there. Beyond these political benefits, our national we could inspire Russians' loyalty to the idea of freedom and equality, and now we cultivate local governments while simply bring to mission lands we occupy. So, like, hey, we can make use of some pro-Ukrainians in this autumn. We'll see, won't we? We shall definitely see. I think we'll see, I don't know. We are seeing the fact that these yeah. Special commissions. Look at that over here. Hey, what would they do about with that? Unification. Gonna come over here relatively soon. Relatively soon. Alright, so let's do towards total liberation over here so we can get the decisions. Liberation of Ukraine cannot be our final goal. We shall strive for total liberation of the whole Eurasian continent. From sunny Iberia to the cold Valvas, like a flag of tomorrow should be on every port of every city. A total war for total liberation will be carried out in the near future, and we should prepare for the total liberation of our total mobilization of our industrial business. By doing so, we will only prepare our army for the Ukrainian battle, but we will to develop the factories feeding it. Yeah, that's kind of what we need to do. So how we be doing. See what we're doing over here. Yeah. Got all this stuff over there. Whatever, we got our things, and we'll make sure that everything's all fine. We're doing that, of course. About it. Just make sure that we got everything really. Nope. Well, at least we got ourselves yes, it was oh yeah, it's not over here, looking weird. Guys, over here we got captured report. How much is report has been captured? We shall see. Communicate the highest importance, not for unauthorized persons. So when they go, your friends get a mass maneuver and more than you need prayer show strength multi rather than preferring to attack about use advisors not to let our guard down. We're not sure to enforcement the Ukraine army and why in Tamaya. We can, however, say Ukraine sent objective of mass mechanization in the army and adjustments as a tactic first open well marshals of Amalands. Tanks rolled out and Cherkasy and Pillar himself, together with his close associates, showed up at the parade. We tried to disrupt the order of the events and turned into a farce while the Ukrainians were prepared and set up thorough security as if they were expecting our move. Even bribes did not work despite the corrupt nature of the regime. It is likely that the Kiev regime has infiltrated our circles to some extent. As such, this must be solid by courier, as I do not to you and us. Our agents are waiting further orders and monitoring the situation. A potential but probable event of war may be wise to photograph Ukrainian army and blueprints of our countermeasures. Time to despite the heightened security following the parade. It is your orders to the contrary not to. If your orders to the contrary do not arrive, we will launch an intelligent counter operation. However, we assure you that it will be done with the utmost care without percussion. I apologize for acting insubordination. We cannot risk even knife in our throats before the middle as the situation stabilizes. Peter Ivanovich Masalovsky. Organized flick over the document, then turn to the captured courier. So yeah, we basically just managed to intercept that little model here, and basically like we basically like, hey, we got an intelligence leak over in here. We should probably do something about that. And be like, yeah, something be done about that. Anyway, handshake over the owner over here and lose some local pass, so that's fine. Colonel Village and his story have shaken up the political scene for a long while. They were born at the times of our war with Russia, and Colonel Village could find reasons to support the USDRP. To Palua was no longer present in Ukraine. We should reach out to the Colonel Village to seek out a renewal relation between our parties. We also make contact with Stephen Badarea and pretend to the throne of Un. He could be our plan B in case Colonel Village starts getting bright ideas. In return for Un support, close our eyes to some unsettled events. Let's leave rest of the trade. That should be up a 10. Interesting. We have two reactions, one on either side over here. We'll see. We see. Poets and poets. What else we got? We got a whole fucking crew going. Make sure everything's all ready for the research stuff over here at the fucking gang. Also on standby as a rep. should be the un. But that's fine. Let's see. Let me see this over in here. Socialist but not communist. Oh, yeah, let's get that. With that over into here. Me in the pile here. So next time I'm gonna read the rest of these. Whenever we get to them. It's gonna be quite interesting over here. Yeah, a lot of build up that we got going on here. That's fine. We gotta make sure that thing be fermenting as well before it really gets good. So yeah. Till the next part over here, we do more reading. So yeah. Bye.